Seem like we feel the same. We love what we hate. We lie.
How long have you been here? 1, 3, 5, 10, 20 or more years? Why are you here? Why don't you just leave? Remember what it was like when you had less than 5 years? Today we're going to discuss attitude behind tenure. I'm Wood, and welcome to Mental Policing.
At least it was worth a try. At least it was worth a try. At least it was worth a try. Are you dry from your place?
Hey guys, as I said, this is Wood, and welcome to Mental Policing. Today I would like to discuss tenure on the job. Do you remember what it was like when you were brand new and you were excited? You didn't care what car you had, what your equipment was, what your shift or area you were assigned to. None of that mattered. You were a police officer and you were proud. You were proud of the job you were going to do. You were proud of the difference you were going to make. You held your head high, and when anyone asked you what your career was, you told them because it was new and it was exciting and it was noble. Then the years creep up. 3 years, 5, 10, 15, 20 plus. Where'd the time go? What have you done in that time? Well, let me take you back a number of years. I was new. First day on the job. I was excited, but nervous. I was in my early 20s, like most of us are. I had no idea what life was about. But I knew one thing. I could make a difference. Remember, this is my very first day on the job. It was a hot, and I mean a hot, July. I had a vest on that I was not used to wearing. I wasn't prepared to wear it, and I had it wrapped tightly around me, which I later found was too tight. Around 5 p.m., we get a call of a barricaded man in a house. Whew, oh boy, my first call. I start sweating because I'm nervous. Because up to this point, it was paperwork, getting to know people, making sure my gear was on correctly, and all those little things. Now, if you live in Utah and it's 5 p.m. in July, you know how hot it can be. Tar on the road even melts, and you want nothing to do with the sun. So here we are at this house. Now, day one on the job. So they tell me to go around the side of the house and watch the back corner in case anyone comes out. Sure, boss, no problem. As I creep back there, there's no shade. I'm posted up next to a fence. And as I sneak back there, I'm ready. I'm watching every corner, every little movement. And I'm listening to the radio that I don't even understand. I was waiting for my call sign, which I had been practicing over and over all day long. It had been given to me the day before. Just in case they called me or I needed to call for help. 30 minutes goes by. Nothing. That's okay. An hour. Still nothing. Hour 15 rolls up, and I start to wander around the front corner of the house, because by this point I hadn't heard anything. What do I see? My FTO, field training officer, with a cold soda in his hand, talking to another 2 officers from sister agencies, standing under a tree. By this time, I've soaked. I've been standing in 100-degree weather for over an hour. I hardly know where I am, and I'm pissed because it didn't feel right, and I'm drenched in sweat. I walk up to my FTO and don't say a word. I mean, what can I say? I'm brand new, right? He looks at me and says, "Oh, you decided to finally come around the front?" As if it's my problem. I look at him and say, "What?" He tells me the person wasn't there, and after about 30 minutes of trying to get into the house, they were told that he had left and the house was clear. But they never told me. My FTO wanted to see how I would handle this. Well, how the hell do you think I'm going to handle it? I stood there and I did what I was told. So I say, I need a drink. Like yesterday I needed a drink. So we drive over to the local gas station to grab a cold drink. On the way, I'm asked if I'd always wanted to be a police officer, ever since I was a little kid. And I say no. And the response? I was told that never in this man's career had he ever seen an officer that didn't want to be one since he was a little boy make it in the profession. What? Day one? Okay. As I drove to work the following day, I received a phone call from my sister. I was telling her about my first day experience. She says, "Well, what are you going to do?" And it was then, 2 days into my career, that I realized it was up to me what to do. No one else. I also decided that as I aged in this job, I would never treat people or test officers in this way. It's not uplifting, it's not encouraging, and it sure does not build great friendships. If you're still here and listening, you will realize that I made it through that year, and many, many more since. But no one ever prepared me for the roller coaster that is this career. I can go in so many different directions with this topic, but I've decided I'm only going to give a few examples of what I've experienced and seen at certain milestones. Maybe this will help shed some light on what you may or may not experience or what you've seen in others. So, rookie year. Here it is. You made it. This can last a year, sometimes more. I would almost say 3 to 5 years, but in these years you're learning, you're positive. The department is great. Senior guys know everything. You can't wait to work and make a difference. You ask for help when you need it, and there's no shame in that. You start learning about different challenges and assignments and can even start preparing yourself in the direction or the path you want to go. Life is good. The career is great. Years 3 to 8. The sophomore years. You're confident. You've had experiences. You've built an early resume. You know how to do your job effectively. And you still ask for help from time to time. You see that other departments are looking really sexy right now. I mean, with your experience and enthusiasm, why wouldn't they want you, right? But then the rookie gets the new car when it should have been yours. But okay, you'll get the next one. You got passed up for an assignment you think you were better suited for. That stings a little. Is your department out to get you? Nah, it's just bad luck. I'll keep trying. But I'm not moving anywhere in the department. So maybe the grass is a little bit greener over there. I believe, and I have no scientific evidence or data to back this, but I believe that this group looks to find better opportunities the most because it's here in this category that we feel we have the most potential, and if we're not doing something with it, it's going to be wasted. Years 9 to 14. If I don't make the jump before 10 years, then why would I go? Why would I leave the department I'm with? I've written my own path, and I can't get out of it. This is where I'll forever be, and I don't want to go now. So after 10 years, you know everything. Right. How dare a rookie correct you? Why do they have so much energy anyway? Don't they know that the man is holding them down and that nothing is good as it sounds? Who would even do this job anymore? In our junior years, we know a lot. We are effective, and we can handle just about every call sent our way. But we are losing sight of our rookie years and the joys of the job. And then come the senior years, 15 to 20. Hey, Grandpa, hey, Grandma, aren't you like 100? I have kids close to your age. I graduated the year you were born. These things start popping up. Rook, you don't know anything. This place only wants to take from you and will never give you anything back. However, these seniors, they know their stuff. They've seen a lot. They've been through just as much. Some may lose sight on what matters. And most of our supervisors are in this 15 to 20 year range. But not all lose sight. And then there's one more, 20 plus, the golden years. I understand with new retirement years, 20 seems like it's not quite enough, but either way, it'll sneak up on you, and it'll be here before you know it. After 20 years on the job, or retirement eligibility, if you want to say that, these guys seem to care less. But do they? They understand this job. Not as much contempt of cop is running around as it is just people being people. If there is resentment built in to these people, it's been built in early and it's deeply rooted. But they are ready to go, but still here. If they learn to beat the negativity that comes over the years, these are some of the best guys to have around. They help you see the job for what it is, and they help you see the joy in the job. And as a newer officer, they'll help you see what's actually important. A lot of these senior guys, and I would even include the 14 or 10 years and up in this group, that if they've figured it out, they've figured it out, and they can be your biggest allies. Each one of these groups has its challenges. I'm not saying that one is any harder or easier than the other. Having lived each of these groups, I could tell you it is tough. Early in my career, I was hell-bent on proving that I could make it. As I pressed on, I was offered some ranked positions in different departments if I moved, but I declined. And the reason? I loved where I worked. I had a group of men and women that surrounded me and made me feel like family. They all saw the job as a job, and we took care of each other. This isn't to say there wasn't struggles, but we weren't getting caught up in the little things. Later in my career, I moved departments. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But since doing that, you realize no matter where you go, problems are all the same. They're just in a different geographical location. It can be hard to stay focused on the end goal, but we have to find joy in the job. If we lose that, we lose ourselves. There's no shame in finding new employment if one doesn't work out. Rookies need to keep being rookies. Veterans, stop being a-holes. Remember the golden rule. And yes, it applies to us as well. The days of hazing and toughen up are gone, and honestly, it made for a bunch of grumpy old jerks. Talk, teach, listen, and be willing to learn. Be human to one another, and you'll likely see better results. Supervisors, remember, you put your pants on the same as those that work with you, so take a moment and stop and think about that. Don't forget where you came from, and if you hated the experience, change it for the next guy coming up behind you. A phrase that has been put into my head over and over for supervisors, and it rings quite true. I don't work for you, I work with you. Let's all be in this together. Old guys and gals, if you see a new officer struggling, step in, help them, talk to them, listen to them. Maybe part of the struggle is because of why you struggle is because you had no one to talk to in the beginning. It's not too late for you either, you know. By sharing your stories, you can help them in theirs. As we say, a burden shared is a burden divided. If there are any takeaways from this episode, it's that we're all human. We will change over the years and we will struggle. Things will always look better elsewhere, but it's up to you to choose the happiness where you are. So take a moment, look at your surroundings, and decide to be happy. If you ever need someone to talk to, you can always reach me at mentalpolicing@gmail.com. I'm always available. For those of you looking to watch this and watch my face, I'm at facebook.com/mentalpolicing, and you can reach out to me on that platform as well. Yesterday feels like years ago, and 20 years ago seems like yesterday. So this is Wood, this is Mental Policing, and I will see you on the next one.
We touch, we break, make it seem like we feel the same. We love.